Okay everybody, this is LL and today I'm gonna be doing probably the most important video of the year, so make sure you're gonna be watching most of it, and there's also gonna be timestamps down below so you can go into the segments that interest you the most. So what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be doing a bit of a recap of 23, of our investments, of the airdrops and things that we have covered here, and then we're gonna be looking into 24. What are gonna be the major themes in 24, what are going to be the major dates and events, and obviously we're going to be looking into what are going to be the hottest airdrops that you should be focusing for 24. But let's get started without further ado with something that we covered roughly 2 weeks ago, and that is the copy trading strategy, which has been very profitable for me. So here is my performance with Gate Exchange through futures, copy trading, and I basically put out an investment of $220 back in November, and right now we have made basically 25% gains here in total, and we took only like brief dips around here, but when you look like on a macro scale, it's pretty much going up on a daily basis. I don't remember who I'm trading under, but this person has done pretty well. And then the other one that has been kind of the major one at Bybit has been also performing tremendously well, and he also kind of had the same drop of performance right around here on the December 9th, and otherwise there has been even 50% gain here on one of the days. So basically I deposited $125 and right now I'm sitting at $408 within 2 months. Okay, within 2 months. So crazy good returns in here in terms of copy trading. And it has been pretty good, and this is something I'm going to be using throughout the bear market, obviously. I'm not sure when I'm going to be exiting from these. There's obviously liquidation risks, but in case you are interested in copy trading, I'm going to link the video in the corner where I talk about it. But we're probably going to be doing some type of an update in Q1 again. Then I obviously do want to talk about these portfolios that we built it up. And I think I said the other portfolio to do 10x and 30x. Now, I don't remember exactly. I think I did this I think I did these last year, in late 2022 or something. Or it might have been earlier this year, whatever. And actually, the both performances, when we look at the worst portfolio, it hasn't gone down. So this is the $1,000 portfolio. You would be basically 39% up. I think that's not a really that bad of a performance, but if you just held Bitcoin, you would be outperforming this portfolio. So this portfolio went 32% up as the Bitcoin would have gone, well, 108%. So, okay, we did this portfolio back in January 15th, okay. But I did say in that video that this is the long-term, portfolio, that we're not the peak of the portfolio's performance yet. And the best performing asset here is AVAX, 178%, pretty good. Let's see from here, and then we have Ethereum, which have been performing really well. Bina has been performing well. Cartesi has been performing well. Kusama underperforming. And because Litecoin has performed really poorly, let's remember, it did get a halving, but it's still in the gutter. It had a halving this year, I believe in summer or in May. And Sandbox also has performed poorly. So because of the allocations to Sandbox and Litecoin, this portfolio has performed kind of poorly. But like 4 coins here out of 8 have been doing over 50%. So it's pretty good. Kusama, I think there's still going to be a rally for it. I haven't still exited from this position, and Doge obviously has moved to grow. The other portfolio, we had one crazy performer here, Render, which, is doing really well now, okay? So we are talking about $700 up in bonuses. IOTA has been doing well. Also, IOTA has been getting airdrops. If you hold IOTA, you're getting IOTA tokens right now, holder drop. RedXD doing fairly well. Casper obviously has staking returns. So these portfolios are not counting staking returns as well. So basically these have gained more than the portfolio says in case you had these things staked out. We have the Luxo, which got changed. Ultra has been doing okay. Cadena, massive underperformer. Astropher as a game fee project not doing very hot, and Secret also being in the gutter. But you can obviously adjust the portfolio if you want to, but it will be interesting to see will this eventually outperform Bitcoin or not. Then let's talk about a bit of the private sales. Now, obviously, I haven't talked about all of these private sales on the channel in a public sense because there are NDAs, there are many reasons for this. But things we have talked about in this list are Supra. Supra is launching on February. We're going to be seeing whatever that is going to be, big or not. Ondo, still, we're not able to sell yet. Oasis, which we talked about in the beginning of this year, or was it in November 2022, basically are averaging at 6 cents, at 12 cents at some point even, during the vesting period. So I basically made almost 2x with the Oasis. Obviously, I could have held it out, a couple of the batches, and I would have done better. Minimum mooted feature did horribly, absolutely horribly. LimeWire did actually go above these both vesting numbers, 30 cents and 20 cents, but I personally didn't manage to actually exit. DeFi, I think we talked about on the channel. It's going to be launched on January, end of January. Flip, obviously we covered. This was on the coin list, which we have talked about a million times before. Coin list sales done really, really well. And 2.64. And actually, what is the price right now? Because that's something I want to just to be care about. And then there was the new sale, which currently it's $5.19. Okay, but it's still up from it. I think I did exit in a pretty good spot. The all-time high was $7.48. And the rest of these we haven't talked about except Portal. So we have to see how Portal is going to be doing. Next year, this private sale breakdown, you're going to be seeing a bit better look into the macro. Have I been sucking at investing or not? So right now, we have getting investing periods, and some of these are locked still. But I recommend watching the private sale video as well. I guess I'm going to link that in the corner too. Then we have to talk about airdrops for 23. Obviously, I didn't get all the airdrops that were distributed. I missed out on Aptos' initial airdrop. There has been at least 2 airdrops this month, which I didn't get. And maybe there's one or two major ones that I missed out. But I just want to give you a bit of an idea. Like, these are all the airdrops that we have gotten. And the month is not over. And guess how much I made? $32,000. $32,000. And that is based on the release value of these tokens. So for example, if you would have sold out a better positions like Celestia is currently at $12, but I sold it at 2.6. It started at 2.1. So I guess I would have made like 6 times that. 6 times 3,000. So 5x. I could have made $50,000 probably if I would have exited at the right times. And if I just one would have been better at exiting at Celestia. Well, okay, these things happen. And so what I'm proving here basically to you guys is that you can make more money with airdrops than on most of the regular jobs. The median income is less than $30,000 in most countries, probably everywhere. So I beat the median income just by farming airdrops. And by farming, we didn't do farming all the months. I wasn't farming in April and May a lot. I wasn't doing a lot of crypto related things back in then. I was inactive. Now I've been extremely active in the last 3 months. But what I'm saying is you can stay active even for 4 months and those activities will reap a lot of rewards going on. So yeah. But let's now go into 24. And we got a lot of interesting things happening on 24, obviously. And let's start by going kind of by month here. So on January, we had the Bitcoin ETF approval. Now that approval is not guaranteed. It is expected. Many people are saying this is the time. We have heard that a million times before, obviously. But this is one of the reasons why Bitcoin has rallied, because there are a lot of people who believe that the ETF is going to be approved during this January 5th to 10th. So that's going to be a big event in terms of price fluctuation. If it's negative, expect 5 to 10% dip on Bitcoin and all coins across the chain, and 5 to 10% up for Bitcoin if it is approved. Okay, it could be actually more than that. It could even rally like 20% in a month, in my opinion. So that's a major event. That's one of the 4 major events that are going to be taking place in 24. So that's the first major macro event. So make sure you're going to be putting that in your calendar, because you're going to want to adjust your short positions and long positions. The next thing that is, and by the way, there has been some conspiracy theories, and I don't mean that as a condescending form. I just like, that is a theory which has some validity in it. And some people are suggesting that the idea of the ETF is to basically suppress the Bitcoin's price and its price growth. Some people suggested that gold's price is manipulated throughout the ETF. I don't know if that's true, but I do want to say that I think the ETF, once ETF was launched on gold back in 2004, that allowed like 4x or something like that. So that's a very good frame of reference here in terms of like ETF. Bitcoin is a different case because you could buy it through multiple different avenues. So it's not as significant as the gold one. And then we have obviously so many projects doing airdrop. We have the Frame, we have Namada, we have, well, Manta is on February, but we're going to have a massive onslaught of airdrops in January. If we look into my calendar, I think the most amount of we had average per 4 per month. And this December, there might be actually more. So the next January is going to be very filled with drops. Okay, so Q1, Q2, a lot of airdrops. But a bit more about that in the last segment of the video. And then we have the Dencun upgrade for Ethereum. And what exactly is this? Oh, sorry, we actually skipped one thing. We forgot BSV. So BSV is going to be unlisted from Coinbase. Prime opportunity to basically short it. I know the date is missing out here. I believe it's on the 14th. BSV's story is kind of coming to an end. I know that the Bitcoin Cash and BSV are going through halving as well this year. But frankly, they are kind of like, they lost the battle. They have lost the battle against Bitcoin. At least BSV has. They are fading into irrelevance in a very alarming rate. Dencun upgrade is the second biggest event, or the third biggest event happening next year. And Dencun will basically do a change to blob transactions together. And this will cause, when you are transacting through Optimism and Arbitrum and Polygon and ZK EVMs and all these things, they always have a fee which is primarily attached into the layer 1 and the layer 2. So by doing transactions on layer 2 are going to become cheaper after Dencun upgrades will go live on February. The testing will start on January, so it might stretch up to March. I'm not sure how much we're talking about. Could be 10% drop in fees, could be 50%. I have no idea. All I can tell you, the fees are gonna go down, and that's a great thing because a lot of that changed, and everybody wants to be part of the EVM ecosystem because that's where the liquidity is. Then on March, we have SBF sentencing. Not gonna have a lot of impact on the price, but I thought I would add it here. Basically, some people are just saying 110 years. Hopefully that's going to be like that. I don't think he's going to get scot-free. He's going to go jail. I don't think anybody can save him, not even Biden. And then on April, we have Bitcoin Cash halving and Bitcoin halving. But remember, if I've been here for 2 halvings, the price doesn't start to go up at the minute the halving happens. It's usually months after. It's actually 6 months after by smallest when you're going to be seeing the effects on the tokenomics, so to speak. Also in April, we're going to be seeing a deadline into the SEC battle against XRP. So once that is concluded, I guess XRP is going to be skyrocketing a bit. I did sell some of it, still have a bag. And then STX, which is basically the most popular Bitcoin layer 2 right now, is going to be going through a Nakamoto upgrade. And that is a significant upgrade because it basically allows creation of SBTC, which is a BTC under STX blockchain. On May, we have BSV halving. And on June, we're going to have a STX bridge to the SBTC chain. So you are able to bridge Bitcoin to the Stacks blockchain. That is going to be big because ordinals have been a big theme of this year. And that's going to be big on layer 2s of the Bitcoin ecosystem. And a lot of dApps and projects are being launched right now, like EVM supporting Bitcoin, and a lot of different projects booming up and raising monies, and I've been kind of paying attention to that. And I did invest in Track, for example. So this is going to be big. I believe Stacks is going to go up in price, not financial advice, but it has been performing really well so far. On August, we have the ETC Fithening, which means a halvening, but it's only the fifth. ETC is still, for some reason, in top 30 coins. It's shocking. And then on 24 October, we have the 6 months since the halving, which could be the potential first peak or the peak of Bitcoin's price, and probably the altcoins as well. Or it could stretch up to the December. And Cardano Voltaire, which is basically allowing the governance update on Cardano, is going to be launching somewhere on Q4. So that's basically the main event for 24. There's really not that much big updates. I tried to look at all the top coins in the top 100, but I basically added everything significant here. There's not really that much like missing out from this list. There's some crypto regulation coming in and things like that, but these are the major events. Now, there are a couple of wildcard events, things that could happen. Number one, Kraken could be having an IPO. I don't know how we're going to be benefiting from that. I think people in America are probably going to invest on that. Chances are USDT might going through some type of audits. It's a bit of a legal gray zone, to be honest. Then we have the Bitcoin civil war. There's a lot of people who are very adamant about blocking ordinals, but the thing is, miners are getting money from ordinals and inscriptions, so they don't want to do that. So there could be a hard fork for Bitcoin again, and this would be a major one, and it would end the cycle. It would end the cycle because, at least for Bitcoin it would, because, you're doubling basically the money supply, so it's kind of crazy. And Do Kwon is probably going to be extradited to US this year from Montenegro. And two wars could end, which is the Ukraine war and Israel. And that brings more stability to the world and hence brings more financial positivity to the market. So that could be very bullish. What are the themes of 24? So what are the major themes that are going to be? Like each kind of cycle has their own themes. Inscriptions are getting more popular. That's going to be continuing to 24. More chains are going to be trying out them, experimenting them. And there's going to be now we have the Bitcoin map, but then we have the Sol map. Now it's Aptos map. And there's going to be something like that again. And there's going to be more innovations about inscriptions, like more newer technology, which is going to be experimenting different forms of it, essentially. So that's pretty interesting in my opinion. And as I said, this is going to be the biggest airdrop season known to man. There's not going to be as much airdrops ever again in crypto history than in next Q1 and 2. I think, we're going to be seeing the charts when we're going to be tracking that stuff, but I'm expecting a lot of drops, very much. And there's going to be at least 20 different EVMs launching next year. It's crazy. And some point, there is going to be a consolidation. We are going to be realizing that there cannot be 40 existing and the liquidity is spread across all of them. There's going to be a couple of clear winners and everybody else is going to be forgotten and let to dust. I hope that there are going to be some type of a mergers like what we happen with XDAI chain and Gnosis chain, which form under Gnosis chain. So we might see things like that happen. That would be probably the best thing to occur, but there just can't be these many EVMs. Almost every top exchange has one, and there's just not really need for that many. And fundamentally, I'm going to be dumping most of these EVM tokens because I know that the faith is there cannot be a coexistence with 40 different chains that are all EVM, which are copies of each other, and all of them don't really offer anything really new to the table. Now, obviously, Manta and Blast are giving yields, but that doesn't mean that the other chains cannot adapt the yield model, far as I know at least. Oracles are going to be more competitive. We have the launch of Supra, which we have talked about a lot on the channel. We have Redstone, and which is probably going to be released next year, and probably some other Oracle. We obviously had the release of Pyth now, and those all are going to be eating the market from Chainlink. There are a lot of people who are saying and making videos that Chainlink is going to go to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, but the thing is, it's just not going to happen. People are just going to be opting out for cheaper alternatives, and that's why they will going to be checking these other oracles. Another theme here is going to be game fee. So we're seeing a lot more blockchain-based games. I'm going to be doing some type of top 10 list for upcoming blockchain games soon. And, you know, I was like expecting not to invest at all the game fees because they had a brutal bear market, the most brutal. So you have to exit from them early. That's just saying. And lastly, the theme is going to be Bitcoin layer 2s. And that's going to be stacks. Lightning Network is not really the same shit because I don't think they have smart contracts there. It's fucking awful technology. So there's going to be other Bitcoin layer 2s which are going to be there. I'm not familiar with most of them, so I'm not going to be talking out of my ass. But I know that there are a couple of ones in the work, a couple of them launched. Stack seems to be heading out the game because they got a really big ordinals market, and people are using their Ledger wallet, obviously. So that's going to be a lot of these themes. So these are the themes for the thing. So airdrops, inscriptions, oracles, and Bitcoin layer 2s and EVMs. Everything else, and obviously, well, we could add 7th here, which is IBC updates. So we have a lot of things coming on Cosmos chains. There's a lot of things going on there, a lot of big updates, but they didn't have dates, so I didn't add them to the previous list. Just to add a couple of extra halvings here for people who are following these shitcoins like Bitcoin Gold, that is happening on April, and Bitcoin Diamond on September, Fyro on September 14th, and the last one is Horizon on 7th of December. Used to be a top 100 coin, not anymore. And yeah, okay, I don't even, Litecoin's 27, okay. And then, yeah, okay. So last thing we're going to be talking about here is the airdrops, which are probably the most what you're interested in. So I created out this tier list. It's mine. People were wondering like who made it. It's mine. I created this. And I already showed out the version 1, this is version 2. So in case you're familiar with tier lists, or not familiar with them, S tier means the best and E tier is the worst. And how am I ranking these? I am ranking them based on 2 factors. Number 1 is longevity and value, dollar value of that airdrop. So let's start out here from the top. And we have Wormhole, which is, as the name suggests, it's a bridging thing. It's like many projects are using it. And I believe if you have interacted with a lot of different bridges, a lot of different protocols, dApps, and things like that, you're going to be eligible from some of them. One is going to be likely going to be using that or the layer 0. And that's like most of the EVM chains, Aptos, Solana. When you have bridges between these things, that's the technology here. So I believe Wormhole is going to be the largest. It's not getting as much talk as the other Wormhole technology or bridging technology thing called Layer 0. So these two are going to be really big. Layer 0 is more popular, but they're probably going to be same in value. Then the rest 3 are the Layer 2 projects. Starknet, Linea, and ZK Sync Era. All of these have raised an insane amount of money. I believe all of them have 100 million over. And Starknet's stamps are already taken. They said that on the Twitter, so you can't do anything to be eligible for it anymore. But by interacting on the chain, a portion of the gas fees are going to be paid back in Starknet, the Stark token. I think I'm known seeing, even I did say in the beginning that these are ranked on longevity and value. I don't think Starknet has a lot of longevity because the problem is when people do transactions on the chain, all of them are going to be getting these tokens, which means that it's a great distribution model for decentralization. I 100% believe that. But in terms of price, not good, not good. People will start to dump it basically. So I'm going to be trying to get rid of it very early on, unless it's vested, obviously, that's a different story. So Starknet is going to be happening in Q1, most likely, one of the first ones out of these. Linea is obviously by consensus, and MetaMask is super involved with that. And Linea is going to be likely the largest drop. There might be some KYC stuff behind it. Not too late to start grinding. And then we have ZK Sync Era. These two probably going to be launching around summer or later. And who knows, they might be even pushed to 25. But unlikely. I don't think that they're going to be staying on mainnet for that long without a token. So that's basically the top 5. So Starknet has dApps you can interact with. But Other 4 I would put more focus onto. Then we have tier 2. This has Manta. We have talked a million times about Manta now in the recent days. Everybody's on board. The cutoff date for the deposits is on December 31st, to my understanding, so you have to join before that to be eligible for the Manta token airdrop. They have already raised 20 million themselves, and now there's like 60 million already bridged, probably over than that now. Then we have, and Manta is going to be launching on February. Zip, but you can be still eligible for doing transactions on the chain, but they are not going to be getting as much as people are doing this deposit thing. Then we have Polygon ZK EVM. No idea when this drop is going to be happening, and I haven't done actually very many transactions with them so far, so I'm very inactive on it. But people did vote for it to be covered next, but we actually have to do the time-sensitive things. Oh, by the way, I did forget to mention Layer 0 has confirmed their token, and it's going to be happening on the first half of 24. So that's why Layer 0 is probably going to be the next specific chain video. So Polygon ZK EVM, bit of a mystery right now. What are going to be the criteria? Is it going to be Matic staked? Who knows? We're going to be talking about that in a video probably as I research more. Base has told that they're not going to be doing a token, but if they move to Dubai or UK, they have different regulation possibilities, which may allow them to basically do an airdrop. So it's up in the air, but it could be one of the larger ones, but we will see how it will happen. But I'm not putting that much emphasis on Base because there's no guarantee that they will drop. But there are dApps in that chain which will drop. And I do have already done a guide video on this, so check it out. Then we have MetaMask, which is going to be releasing after the Linea or right before it, or maybe at the same time. We already kind of know that they are doing this, and it's just a matter of time. And it's going to be obviously big because Phantom, well, it's actually no longer the biggest wallet, Phantom is. And then we have Scroll, which have also raised over $100 million. And it started out pretty short. November was the mainnet launch. So it's probably going to be dropping in summer, early summer probably. So still time for Scroll. Then we have the B tier. And we have Supra. This is the Oracle we're talking about. It's going to be having a token drop on February, which is vested. Phantom could be more valued than MetaMask. From the base, it doesn't have necessarily the same amount of recognition as MetaMask because it is more limited on its chains. But the fact of the matter is, it has more users. So Phantom is going to be big. It could belong technically to A tier. But do swaps on Phantom, do the NFT quests, and that's central. Then we have the Eigenlayer, and this is like a restaking protocol which is connected to Manta, it's connected to Blast, it's connected to this and that and this. So Eigenlayer, if you're going to be doing any form of like ETH staking, you're probably going to be eligible for that. We have done many videos about Eigenlayer, and Eigenlayer is going to be also doing drop when, we don't know. Then we have Argent Wallet, which is one of the big wallets on Starknet. They are likely going to be doing airdrop. They waste a lot of money, actually very much money. And there's like a smart contract wallet, so they're kind of interesting technology. Then we have ZK Aztec, which were initially going to be privacy thing, but then regulation stopped them doing that. So they're kind of like beat behind here. They don't have a mainnet not right now. And they are probably going to be one of the bigger ones as well. Very early on, you can still participate. Then we have the NFT market Zora. We have also done a video on this. No idea when they're going to be dropping. They don't really have a specific time. Maybe they want to be... Everybody wants to probably drop in, before halving. So they can move to with Bitcoin. Then we go into Z tier. Now, C tier is still worth doing. Like, these could be... I would say Wormhole. The S tier is airdrops that could be over $20,000. A tier is 5K, something like that, and B tier is in thousands, and C tier is something $500 to $1,000, and D is probably a couple of $100, and E is anything below $50 probably. So this kind of gives you an idea. These are rough estimates. There's so many criteria obviously to these airdrops, and it's really hard to measure the value for a million reasons. And on C tier, we have Shardium. They are probably going to be launching in Q1. Aptos is going to be doing their quest thing going on. So not anytime soon a drop. Tyco is still in testnet. Zeta is still in testnet, so these are probably more on the summer side of things, unless they launch with the token onto the mainnet. So that's a possibility too. Rainbow, probably going to be launching in February. And Saga, which is the only IBC chain on the list, the most important one in my opinion, as alongside with Nogan, and then there's the Atom 1. Those are all kind of like up in the air when they're going to be happening, but still worth staking. You want to really stake Celestia, for example, right now, because it's becoming a bit of a prime coin for drops. So the 4 coins that I would stake are Celestia, Osmosis, Atom, and Injective. And Kujira. So 5 tokens in the IBC ecosystem. Once again, Atom, Osmosis, Celestia, Injective, and Kujira. Then we have the last airdrop, also gonna on C tier. And then on the lower ends, we have Quicksilver, another Atom drop, the Rabi wallet, Friendtech. Friendtech could be a lot of money for the people on the top, but average user is gonna be getting pennies. And the SoFi thing is kind of waning off right now. Alien Swap, probably gonna be launching in Q1. Bravos, probably going to be launching also in Q1. Doesn't have much funding as Argent has, but also a Starknet wallet. And then on the bottom we have Evernode, which is for the XRP holders. I'm expecting $20. Also again, if you're a really big whale, you're probably going to be getting a fair sum, otherwise quite a little. And then we have the Stars Arena, which is like the 3rd largest SoFi protocol right now. And it's also going to be probably pennies because of the hack and kind of like some people leaving the SoFi system and the craze kind of dying off. So that's kind of like the whole rundown of 24, what I think about and all my analysis on it. We're going to do a lot of update videos on a lot of these specific things we talked about here today. I'm going to wrap it up here. I don't want to talk any longer. My voice is almost lost, but a lot of videos still coming on this December, and I want to really wish you a happy Christmas. So I will be seeing you in the next video. Make sure to subscribe, and see you later.